In this video, we're going to sew the bear's body together. So we'll take the two body pieces, the body front and the body back, and we will align them together so that the body front piece is facing out toward us and the back side or wrong side of that piece is facing towards the other piece of fabric so we can't see it. Once we get it lined up, you can use your safety pins to pin it in place so that those two pieces of fabric stay aligned while we're doing our stitching. I'm going to go ahead, put all of those safety pins in place. You want to make sure that you put your pins far enough in from the outer edge so that they don't interfere with where you're going to place your stitches. And we'll be putting our stitches on that outer edge. I have them pinned in place. I'm going to go ahead and put the two last safety pins in up by the head, just to be sure I don't get any puckering or shifting up there while I'm stitching. Once I have my safety pins in place, it's time to begin stitching. Now I've taken my thread, my brown thread, and I have threaded my needle with a single thread so that there's a little tail on one side and a knot on the other. I'm going to go ahead and find the place where I want to begin stitching. Now we want to leave a gap for stuffing in the side of this bear here. And so we want to make sure that we leave enough of an opening where we can do that. I'm going to start about a 1/2 inch above where the leg and the tummy meet. And I'm going to push my needle between the two layers of fabric so that my knot is hidden between the two layers. And I'm going to push my needle in between two of the guideline stitches. Then I'll wrap the thread around the body and the edge of the fabric there, and I will push it through the next stitch of the guideline and in through the next stitch, and I'll just follow that guideline all along the outer edge to make my stitches neat and evenly spaced. And this is great whip stitch practice for keeping our stitches neat and evenly spaced. And it should look about the same on the front as on the back. So it's good to check in with the work on the back every once in a while. If you follow the guidelines that are provided and you stick your needle between the two stitches, you will make very consistent and even whip stitches. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you, I've already done a little bit of stitching and I've run out of thread. So my thread is getting really short. What to do? So I'm going to make an ending knot by making as if to make a whip stitch, but leaving a loop. Then I'm going to pull my needle through that loop 2 times, pull it tight, and I've created a knot. Now if I want to make that very sturdy, I can push it through again and make a little loop, push my needle through once and twice, pull it tight, and then there's a knot. And that's how you create an ending knot. You want to make a knot when you're finishing your stitching so that your stitches don't come undone. I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to just push it right back in between the 2 layers of fabric, just where that last stitch was. I'm going to pull it through between the 2 layers of fabric and I'm going to snip off that little tail so that the tail of that thread will be hidden between the 2 layers of fabric. That way it's not dangling out anywhere. Then I'm going to take my thread and I'm going to re-thread my needle. So I'll pull out some thread and go ahead and re-thread my needle. And there are more instructions for how to thread the needle, how to do the whip stitch on my playlist for basic hand sewing techniques. So you can check that out on YouTube. To make a knot, I just made a loop and I'm going to wrap that thread through 3 or 4 times before I pull it tight. I'll use my scissors to just snip off that little tail so it's a little shorter, a little closer to the knot. You don't want to clip off the tail of that thread too close to the knot, or the knot can come undone. You want to leave just a little tail. And there you go, you're threaded and ready to go again. Now when I begin again, I am going to actually push my needle right up into where that last stitch ended. So right in the same spot where that last stitch ended, that's where I want to push my needle. And I want to push my needle between the 2 layers of fabric so that my knot is hidden between the 2 layers. And when I bring it around, I'm just going to go right into the next stitch. So the next place where the next stitch should go. And I'm just going to continue sewing as if I hadn't stopped. Right into the next stitch and the next stitch. And that's how I'll get started again. And I'll just continue along the outer edge, making those stitches, using that guideline to make them as neat and even as possible. Just going to continue working along the outer edge. One thing that you can do that I find useful sometimes is you can remove the safety pins as you pass them. So once you've stitched past the area where the safety pin is, you can actually just take that safety pin out, and that's just one less thing to get tangled up in. It's sometimes a little easy to get tangled up with our thread with between the safety pins and the arms and legs. It can be a little tricky. Just take your time. Just want to make sure don't have any little knots in our thread. Just continue stitching along. All along that outer edge. It's good to check in on your work every once in a while to see what the back side is doing, just to be sure that you don't have any tangles or any places where you need to repair. Oops, I think I skipped a stitch. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and show you how this corner works. So I'm just going to continue following the guideline, going into the next stitch and the next stitch. As I do that, I'm going to get a couple of stitches layered on top of each other in that corner. So I'm going to go ahead and poke my needle into that next space between the guideline stitches, and then I'll go into the very next place between the guideline stitches. And as you see, it kind of comes out to be more like triangles. In that little corner, there's a couple of stitches stacked into that corner together. And I'm just going to continue on following that guideline so that my stitches end up being really evenly spaced and very neat along that edge, even up into that corner. And that's the way that looks. Sometimes it's hard to know in the corners especially what is that? What should that look like? And that's it. That's how you do it. So I'll just keep stitching along that outer edge. I need to rethread my needle. I'll go ahead and do that and continue on. Now I'm going to show you as you approach this other little corner underneath the little bear's arm, kind of how that looks as you approach it. As before, I'm just going to go ahead and continue pushing my needle into the space between the guideline stitches. Continue into that corner. And you can see how those stitches, they kind of are sort of stacking into that corner there. So you have really 2 or 3 stitches right on top of each other. But I'm just following the stitches of that guideline, going to the next hole and the next hole. And as I do that, my stitches are looking very neat as they stack into that corner and continue along that edge. And that corner should be very sturdy too when you put the stuffing in. There will be a little bit of stress on those points. So it's good to have a little bit of reinforcement and really consistent stitches there. I'm just going to go ahead and continue around that edge, following the guidelines and working my way around, practicing my whip stitch. A little awkward since I'm trying to show you what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So I'm going to continue with some more stitches until I reach the bear's neck, and then I'll come back and show you how that looks. So I've continued the stitches around the bear's leg and his other leg and up his side, around his arm. And now let's do this neck area together so that you can see how that looks. I'm going to go ahead and continue just following the stitch guidelines along. This is very much just like what happened underneath the bear's arm as we sort of stack the stitches into that corner in a neat and consistent way. We followed that guideline along. It makes a very even row of stitches. I'll just go right into the next space between the stitches of the guideline. And it's the same right there at the bear's neck, where the neck meets the head. You just continue going into the next stitch guide and then the next. I'm going to go ahead and fix that little stitch. You can use your needle to kind of straighten out the stitches if they get tangled on top of each other or if they're going a bit sideways. And there it is. That's what it looks like as you stitch around the outer edge of the neck. And there it is on the back. You can see the stitches are looking very consistent and pretty even on the back, just as they do on the front. So now I've stitched my way all the way around the outer edge of the bear, all the way to the arm, and we're really approaching the place where we're going to need to stop. We want to leave a little gap on the side of the bear so that we will have room for stuffing. That will be the opening where we push our stuffing. And we want to leave a big enough space where we can fit our fingers in there to do the shaping work that we have to do to finish the bear when we're stuffing him. So I'm going to go ahead and continue along that guideline, making the stitches. Once I get past the arm, I'm going to go down the body just about a ½ inch. I'm going to put a few stitches down the side of the body before I stop. So that there will be a little bit of sturdiness right there at that point. And it'll be easier to close shut because it's just a straight line. I'm not dealing with any corners whenever I sew up that that place where the stuffing is going to go in. And I think that's about it. I'm going to make an ending knot now. And so I'm going to push my needle through as if to make a whip stitch. I'm going to leave a loop. I'm not going to pull it tight. I'm going to pull my needle through once and twice in the same direction. Pull it tight to create a knot. Then I'm going to do that same thing again. I'm going to push my needle through as if to make a stitch into the very same place. Leave a little loop, pull my needle through twice, pull it tight. And that just creates a really sturdy ending knot, which right there in that spot, I want to have a pretty sturdy ending knot because there's probably going to be a little stress on that seam right there where those stitches are whenever I'm pushing the stuffing in. So I'm going to go ahead and just hide my tail between the two layers of fabric and go ahead and clip off that thread. And that part is finished. I have a little gap left for stuffing. I can remove those safety pins now. And there's that part done. You can see the front, and then you can see the stitches on the back. They mirror the ones on the front pretty well. And we have that little gap left for pushing our stuffing in. So we'll push our stuffing in there and then we'll close up that gap in one of the next videos. And there it is, you're all finished with that step.